What up, peeps? Tony Baker here, back with another. I'm talking about the Oscar nominations in this video. And the Oscar nominations for 2020 have been released Monday morning. And, there's been a lot of snubs, So now I want to give my personal opinion, my personal take on the Oscar nominations. Since I've seen a lot of movies this year, I feel like I can weigh in, chime in, maybe present other sides of it. Here we go. And I'm just doing the major categories. I'm not doing sound mixing and costume design. And I'm not doing all of that. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start with Best Actor. Okay. The Best Actor nominees are Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. These are the Best Actor nominations. Now for me, all right, let's start with Leo. Leo, I feel like, is probably one of the greatest actors of all time. I would put him in my all-time actor list. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I feel like somebody else could have been nominated. Let's say Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems. I feel like they snubbed Adam Sandler in the category. Whether or not you liked Uncut Gems, I can respect it if you didn't. I can respect it if you did. It's one of those movies that's like, man, it gave me high blood pressure. So I get why people didn't like the movie. But it's hard to argue against Adam Sandler's performance. His performance was good in Uncut Gems. It carried the film. I was invested in his character, all the ups and downs, the twists and turns. It was just a dope performance, and it's one of the strongest performances of his career. Leonardo DiCaprio, of course he performed good. That's what he does. He's one of the greatest. But I feel like he didn't really stand out in this movie. He didn't overshadow Brad Pitt, and I just felt like it was just cool. Now I know the Academy loves to ride Quentin Tarantino's job. I feel like they could have put Adam Sandler in Leo's place. That's just my opinion. Joaquin Phoenix is my favorite in this category of what I've seen. I haven't seen Pain and Glory, so I can't speak on Antonio Banderas' performance, and I haven't seen The Two Popes, so I can't speak on Jonathan Pryce. But I have seen Marriage Story. I feel like Adam Driver's performance is really strong. I feel like it's the second strongest in this category. I really felt his pain in that movie and everything he was going through. I thought Adam Driver's performance was phenomenal. But Joaquin Phoenix put on an acting clinic in The Joker. He is the film. The Joker, Joaquin Phoenix is this movie. So without him, the movie just doesn't work at all. Without Leo, the movie could still work. I feel like without Adam Sandler, the movie didn't work at all. So I feel like take Leo off, put Adam on there, and I can't speak on those other two performances. And Joaquin Phoenix is my favorite in that category. Now let's go to Best Picture. Best Picture, 1917. Ford v. Ferrari, Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Parasite, The Irishman, Little Women, Jojo Rabbit, Marriage Story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They use 9 slots. They can use up to 10. They use 9 for Best Picture this year. Good choices. I haven't seen Little Women. I won't see Little Women because it's just the outfits, the love, the time period. I am not interested whatsoever. No disrespect to women, little and small. No disrespect to female filmmakers. It's not even about that. I'm just not interested. It's the love. Now, if those are Little Women planning to rob a bank, I'm all in. Even if it was that time period, I would still pull up, but I'm just not. Now, everything else nominated, I have seen. I have seen all the other nominees. And I feel like, again, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood shouldn't be in this category. Best Picture, it was a good movie. Let me tell you this, if it wasn't for the last 20 minutes of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I would have been pissed off. I would have been like, this movie was mediocre city. It would have just been mediocre if it wasn't for that last 20 minutes. And then the last 20 minutes was ridiculous. And so I feel like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood should not be a Best Picture nominee. I feel like Just Mercy should be in there. Just Mercy is one of the most powerful films of the year. I feel like they could have put that in there. I feel like I feel like Avengers Endgame should be in here. I'm gonna just keep it all the way funky, Martin Scorsese. I feel like Avengers Endgame should have been the Best Picture nominee. The reviews were good. The audience reaction was phenomenal. The emotional strings are there. The story, the villain is fully fleshed out. Why not throw Endgame in there? Because it's a comic book movie. You want to hate on it, huh? I feel like Endgame can easily replace Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We talking costume, effects, filmmaking, cast of characters. Come on. Anyway, Parasite was a great film. It definitely should be in here. Jojo Rabbit was creative, original, dope, well done. Marriage Story was a very well-written, very strong character piece, and I love that it's in here. The Irishman was long but good, full of good performances. The age makeup was trash, but it was a good movie. So everything. Ford v Ferrari was one of the best films of the year, in my opinion. I'm glad it made the cut. It won't win, but I'm glad it's in here. The Joker, of course. 1917, I got a chance to see that, and that's a good movie. It's well done, My best pick for Best Picture of the year. Overall, Best Picture, that goes for story, performances, all of that. In this category, out of the nominees, I'm going to go with Parasite. I think Parasite, I had no clue where the story was going. Completely original concept. It wasn't based on a true story or anything like that. So it was a full work of fiction, well executed. I had no clue where it was going to go, where it was going to end up, and I just really enjoyed it on all fronts. So I might have to go with Parasite as my strongest pick for Best Picture. No disrespect to the others. Anyway, Best Actress, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, Renee Zellweger for Judy, Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan, I hope I said her name right, for Little Women. Now, I haven't seen the majority of these films, so I can't really dive in. Matter of fact, the only performance I saw in this category is Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story. I can't tell you who they should have included. Lupita Nyong'o for Us. Her playing two different characters was great. I feel like they overlooked it because it's a horror piece, and they like to hate on comic book movies and horror movies and comedies and comedians when it comes to Oscar nominations. I feel like, I haven't seen Harriet, but I'm willing to bet that her performance in Harriet probably didn't top Lupita's in Us. Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story was a very strong performance. I'm not surprised she's here at all. And everything else I haven't seen yet. I got to watch Bombshell. SAG sent me the movie. I'm going to watch it tonight. So Best Actress is going to be short. I'm sorry. Moving on. Best Supporting Actor. Anthony Hopkins for The Two Popes. Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Joe Pesci for The Irishman. Al Pacino for The Irishman. Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I have no issues with the nominees in this category. I feel like, because I've seen Tom Hanks, I've seen Al Pacino, I've seen Joe Pesci, I've seen Brad Pitt. I didn't see Anthony Hopkins in The Two Popes. But everybody else, strong contenders for the win. I love Brad Pitt and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He was my favorite thing about that movie. His story arc was the favorite thing about that movie. Joe Pesci did phenomenal in The Irishman, and it was dope to see him as a subdued presence rather than the fiery fireball that he usually is in the Scorsese flick, but he still carried that menace. Al Pacino in The Irishman was great as well. I love this character. That's the best performance I've seen from Al Pacino in quite some time. And Tom Hanks is Fred Rogers, man. Come on, man. He killed it in that movie. And I love Tom Hanks and I love Mr. Rogers, so he really nailed it. He just made me want to cry every time he was just talking. Because I was like, oh, man, he's so sweet. He's a good guy. So in this one, I feel like Joe Pesci and Brad Pitt are the front runners here. I would like to see Joe Pesci win this one. I wouldn't be mad if Al Pacino won. I wouldn't be mad if Tom Hanks won. I wouldn't be mad if Brad Pitt won. I'm not mad at anybody winning this one because, they all did great. Best Supporting Actress, Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Margot Robbie for Bombshell, Scarlett Johansson again for Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh for Little Women, Laura Dern for Marriage Story. Let me tell you something right now. Laura Dern's performance in Marriage Story is overrated. I'm sorry, no disrespect to the great Laura Dern, but I feel like when she got the Golden Globe, I was like, yo, why? She didn't stand out in Marriage Story. She just didn't. I saw that performance, I was just like, cool, she's an annoying lawyer. She annoyed me, she got under my skin, but I don't see why, she's nominated again, especially over like Jennifer Lopez and Hustlers. Like Jennifer Lopez elevated the film. She had a standout performance. She elevated the film. I didn't feel like Laura Dern elevated anything. She was a great ensemble piece. She was cool, but it was like I felt like there were stronger performances on the supporting tip this year than Laura Dern here. I haven't seen Little Women, like I said. Scarlett Johansson was fantastic in Jojo Rabbit. And Scarlett Johansson, for her to double up on the Oscar nominations, that's a rare thing. I believe Julianne Moore has done it before. Jamie Foxx has done it. But to see it done again, shout out to Scarlett, man. You out here getting bread and you out here with the acting chops. Kudos to you. And the looks. Scarlett Johansson's got the looks, the acting chops, and the bread. Good for you. Haven't seen Margot Robbie in Bombshell yet, and Kathy Bates was great in Richard Jewell. My complaint is they snubbed Jennifer Lopez for Hustlers. I feel like they could replace Laura Dern with Jennifer Lopez. For the win, from what I've seen, I wouldn't be mad if Scarlett snagged it for Jojo Rabbit. I really liked her character in that. Kathy Bates did great as well. But Laura Dern, she won the Golden Globe. She may win the Oscar here. But if she does, I'll be pissed. And let's end it with Best Animated Feature. I'm just giving it to Toy Story 4 just because I haven't seen the other ones. And let's end it with Best Director. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino, the SAG ride continues. Todd Phillips for The Joker, Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, Sam Mendes for 1917. Not mad at any of this. I still feel like instead of nominating Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I feel like you could throw in Taika Waititi for Jojo Rabbit. I think he should have been nominated. I think you could also nominate James Mangold for Ford v Ferrari, Noah Baumbach for The Marriage Story. I feel like those are 3 replacements for Quentin. Everybody else, you're here for a reason, and I respect it. And I feel like Todd Phillips did a great job with Joker. Bong Joon-ho did fantastic for Parasite. Martin Scorsese for The Irishman. I'm giving it to Parasite. No disrespect to Martin Scorsese or Todd Phillips. I'm giving it to Parasite once again. Original piece, original storyline. Everything mattered in how they shot it, the visuals they gave, the twists and turns. I'm giving it to Parasite. I would love to see him win Best Director. Okay, so that's me for the majors and the Oscar nominations for 2020. I'll do my little pick to see how accurate I am on the big night. Let me know what you think of these categories in the comment section below. Who's your favorite actor, actress, supporting, director, and film? Let me know your picks in the comment section below, man. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, we out here.